Hello, and welcome to another episode of Guild Guide, a show where we explore what's new on Dungeon Masters Guild. I'll be your host, William Bosley. All right, so this one starts off with an adventure, House of Payne and Sauro. I like the spelling on that. It's clearly a name potentially, and not the word, obviously. Now, I believe this one has a good bit of spoilers in it. There's a lot of mystery involved, so I'm just going to show you that it's got a nice template. It's got area, text to read, gray box for DM only. It's got a whole bunch of things like this. Check save, what have you. I'm going to scroll through really fast. You can see how cool this map is without any spoilers. I really don't want a player to see that and really take a good long look because they'll end up spoiling some stuff. There's some secrets on that map. So if you're a player, don't rewind. And they got some character art in here too that's really fantastic. I believe it's all original. I'm gonna check in a minute. I believe, yes. Elven Tower, Dean Spencer. Those are the two artists. I wonder if Elven Tower. I think Elven Tower may be a someone who makes stock art, but I could be wrong. That may be completely inaccurate. I thought I just saw them somewhere like that. Anyway, this Jeff C. Stevens. It is a 20-page adventure for $2.95, and it's very well done. Levels 1 to 5, runtime 1 to 3 hours. You can actually do this very easily with while you're self-distancing. You could do this with just the people who you live with, and it would be fairly simple to jump right into. It'd be probably a good first adventure, I'd imagine, because of all that extra text. You can probably just go ahead and read what it says about the environment and things like that, even for a new DM. But yeah. All right, so the next one is from Mateo Galassi. I think I remember seeing him like a week ago when I did the first episode that got all messed up, and he seems to make really good battle maps. This is pretty consistent, and you can see down here how many he has. He's got a lot of them, and he's got a Patreon. It looks like. So if you're looking for battle maps, it looks like he makes mostly battle maps of. This is in Avernus, but we've got let's see. I know there's some of them down here that are for other things. These are very specific descriptions, but I want to say these are from specific locations in main adventures. The reason I scroll down there is because we're about to have a couple of his. He's got it with and without the grid, day and night. So in this case, I guess he did water and then lava rather than day and night with this one because it's a cave. So it could be either one. And that's fantastic. You come over here, it's got another one, pillar-based battle map. This one's one with day and night, and it looks like with surrounded in water versus land. So it's like an island style kind of tower. I could see a ship campaign when you come over here and dock, and you're gonna have to go in here and fight some pirates, something like that. That'd be fantastic. And this is for $1, by the way. Each one of these is for $1. That's all. That's all he charges, and this is fantastic art for being so cheap. Stock art is pretty expensive. And you go to the next one. Here's another one, Windy Canyon. This one's day and night as well. I think that's with a grid. That's without a grid. This is with river, no river. It also doesn't have that little bridge. So yeah. Um, and the night is apparently with a river. So that's pretty interesting. All for just $1. And if you want to support, you can go to the Patreon. So that's pretty cool. All right, next one is the Silver Specter Cometh. Now this is an adventure. There's a lot. They put every single one of their things inside here as a description. I've seen it done with pictures. This is done with links. Since they have the links down here, Ferdin, if I were you, Ferdin, to be honest, I'd put pictures because then they can come down here and grab the links once they see the title. Well, and I guess if you want to, but that's all the way up to you. But anyway, the Silver Spectre Cometh is a haunting adventure for 5th level characters set in the streets of Baldur's Gate. Now, I don't like to go into too much with adventures, as I always say. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically there's Specter involved, and it's a 6-page adventure. It's a very short little like one-shot style, and or more importantly, something you can pull out during a game in Baldur's Gate, where you can actually just throw it in and add it as an extra adventure. So that one's 99 cents. It's not very expensive for 6 pages. That's pretty good. 20 cents a page. That would be $1.20. So you're actually getting a steal for that. And that's just the general wisdom. This one's the Vermin. I actually was very interested in their art. It looks really fantastic, but unfortunately, it doesn't allow me to go any deeper than this. I didn't find them on Twitter, or else they might have comped me a copy ahead of time. I looked, I could not find them. But RG Wood, artist George Sutherland Howard, and Daniel, what is that, Wathall, and Dyson Logos. It looks like they're pretty good artists, because to be honest, that already has gotten my attention. What I'm looking at though is the fact that I don't know what this says otherwise. The Vermin introduced the Rat Folk, a new threat for 1st to 4th level characters. This supplement includes a detailed description of the Rat Folk with new monster stats and adventure seeds. It includes original artwork by the people I mentioned, George Howard and Daniel Walthall. For centuries, the Rat Folk have lurked in the sewers and catacombs. Yeah, it's an adventure apparently. To be honest, I thought this was going to be like a playable race based on the way that it's. I don't know, something about the framing of it for some reason felt like a playable race, but I guess not. This is an adventure. But anyway, yeah, that's the Vermin for $1.99. Arms of House Helmshimber. This one is art for this person goes through and creates a lot of supplements for let me go get their name. Ol Arneson. Goes through and makes supplements that are all sorts of arms of House Manthar and such, arms of the Faith of Gond, arms of the House Cromar, and these are all the noble houses of Waterdeep bundle. So I assume that all of these are. Well, this is the Faith of Mistra. That's just a general one for the religion. So that not all of these are Faith of Gond. But basically, yeah. So if you're looking for handouts, or if you're looking for these little shields to put, these little shield devices to put on your character sheet, it's $2 a piece. That's not bad for stock art. I mean, for something like this, you might have to pay someone to commission something like this a good bit. And so $2 is not bad for stock art. It's 2,000 by 2,000 pixels, which is, yeah, pretty fantastic. It's PNG, by the way, or a PDF. So yeah. Anyway, next up we got Blood of the North, the Watcher, a new fighter archetype. This one is pretty interesting. It's $2 by Griffin Fredet, and from them they have made a lot of stuff about Warforged. It looks like, but anyway, what this one is a subclass of fighter that's pledged to Odin, and like you get the whole you have to sacrifice an eye and all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting. If you're doing like a Norse campaign, I know there's a bunch of Norse stuff that hit the market. Yeah, I do see, by the way, that my camera is kind of dead again, just like last time. But whatever. Technology. I'll try and figure that out probably soon. I don't know. But yeah. So basically, this one right here is a subclass that allows you to basically slowly kind of become more and more like Odin. Now, it's very well made, very cool flavor and stuff like that. There is where was it? Here in the Odin Force, the final feature. I think the creator Griffin needs to come in and take a look at this real quick, because you can create energy blast from your replica of Gungnir, which have a range of 60 feet and deal 1d8 damage of your choice of fire, lightning, radiant, or force. Now that's cool. So this class gets a spear that is empowered. It's a duplicate, basically a replica of Gungnir, which is basically it's the Spear of Odin, so you're gaining like sort of Odin powers. But what I noticed here, the reason I call this out really quick for the creator to come in and make an edit in the future, is that this doesn't say if it takes an action or a bonus action or what, which means presumably it's a free action because it doesn't say it takes an action, which means it doesn't take an action because that's how 5th edition works. So which means you could just fire this off endlessly because it doesn't take an action, and you only need to pay an action for it. So that is something that needs to be looked at. But the rest of this seemed really well balanced. I didn't see any other flaws when I was looking through. It looks pretty fantastic, and the fact that it's if you're that's one of those ones though. It's like that's a ruling, not a homebrew. You're not gonna have to change it with a homebrew. This probably is supposed to be an action or even be like, or even be an attack action specifically, and so like a special attack action. So if it's not a problem. It was just something I felt like I would probably want to point out if the creator does actually see this and come in and tweak that. Anyone else will just say, that's probably supposed to be an action and just slam that on there and make it work. But the rest of this is, like I said, very fantastic. And let's just take a look at that art really quick, by the way. I mean, look at that cover art. That's fantastic. I love the ravens here, which by the way, you get little astral like magic ravens that work like they work like let's see, where was it? It's in here somewhere, but they work like here we go. Divine beings. Wait, nope. No, that's different. Anyway, basically, no, yeah, it is. 2 ravens who are celestial beings. These creatures act as familiars and can use their senses instead. Yeah, so basically, it's like having 2 familiars. It's a good thing I went into this because this was the other thing there was one other thing here. In addition, you have the advantage on insight, arcana, and investigation checks. So you blah, blah, blah. These ravens cannot attack or remain until they drop to 0 hit points. Where was it? Here it is. On their own and will and can cast spells through them. You can cast spells through them. Now, normally familiars can only cast touch spells through them. This wording means otherwise, but because it says they act as familiars, I think that's enough to say ruling here is that was a miswording and it's supposed to be the same as familiars. So anyway, but yeah, let's look at that art. Look at that background art. That's fantastic. I love that building back there, that little house there, and this one down here is also fantastic line art. It you know this is just great. Um, yeah, I would just if you are looking for that for more about Norse mythology, because there was a major, really popular one about Norse mythology that came out recently. If you want to go ahead and go grab that and this, you can make a very cool like Viking style, maybe even if you like the Vikings TV show, for example. Anyway, yeah, it's 4 pages for $2, and that is not bad. $2, by the way, is I would say the maximum you want to charge for a class, playable race, subclass, or anything like that, because that's what D&D Beyond does. And I made the mistake of going over with my very first supplement, and it didn't sell at all. So I think that it's reasonable, even if you go to like 15 pages, like mine was 13 pages. That's why I calculated it ended up over $2. But because I went 20 cents per page. But basically, yeah, you don't. If $2 is a perfectly reasonable one for a playable race, playable class, playable subclass, even subclasses. Although I would probably make that $1 instead, or 150 or something. But Greenbrier's Cursed Inventory. This is the next one, Greenbird RPGs. This one is really fun. So you know how Xanathar's Guide to Everything introduced a bunch of mundane style magic items, and it was everybody loved them. The Cloak of Billowing, etc., are just all fantastic and fun to play with. This is kind of the same thing for cursed items. It's got 30 cursed items, and the art, of course, looks very adorable. And it's things like, you know, a sausage that turns you into a pig when you eat it. You know what I mean? Like this book, if you go to, it's a tome of tremendous turnips. So you go to start reading it, and you end up not being able to stop. You're just constantly reading about all the mundane facts about turnips, turnip growth, turnip life cycles, everything. Everything in here is like a very mundane, cursed item that you can just throw at your players. Purse of counterfeit coin. Every coin that gets put in here gets transformed into a counterfeit coin. And merchants can always tell, but the player can't tell unless they are, you know, probably proficient in something. So yeah, it's pretty hilarious what these things do. So if you love the way that Xanathar's Guide to Everything does that and just throws in all those mundane items, mundane magic items, download this. Maybe after you are done self, you know, distancing, and you've gotten and we're all back to normal, we're getting paid again, and everybody's got our jobs back, you can come back and throw another $1.50 at them or more if you had a lot of fun with it. You know, you gauge how much fun you had with it. If these things entertained you for an hour or two, then it's worth probably more than $1.50. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot. You know what I mean? These are used for D&D, and they're only one piece of D&D, so I can understand not attributing 5 hours of fun to one playable race you chose or something like that. But you know, it's a lot of that time was because of the playable race you chose. So anyway, it's 10 pages for $1.50. You can't get much better than that's a very good deal. Yeah, and you can try it before you come back and pay for it. So and there's previews, so you can get a good feel for this, know exactly what you're getting into. Anyway, next one. Oh, did I ever say the name? Yeah, Greenbrier RPGs. Yeah, next one is Politics of the Shadow Marshes by Joseph Meehan. This one's really cool because I don't know much about the politics of the Forgotten Realms. I mostly know about their gods and things like that because I homebrewed my own world based on the Forgotten Realms. So I use the religions and the planes, and I make things that are similar to things that are from the Forgotten Realms, like certain cities and things like that. And the way that politics work are somewhat, you know, reasonably similar. But I don't know the specifics, and they have a massive collection here. Wonder if they, yeah, there's a bundle here. Politics of Eberron bundle is right here. I don't think, is the Shadow Marshes in Eberron? Yes, it is. That's what I thought. But if there was, I wonder if this creator also does Forgotten Realms, if you go back far enough. So I'm trying to recognize these if they are, but I think they might. Three. Are they repeating? Anyway, yeah, they're repeating. That's what's going on there. So, but yes, that's fantastic. If you don't know much about Eberron and you just, you know, got into it, because of course the new book, Rising from the Last War, you've got all the politics in Rising from the Last War. Well, you got more here, and you can expand your understanding of Eberron with this. So that's fantastic. I mean, I imagine that this is going to be very useful for a lot of players. Um, so, and by the way, it's only $1.95 for 6 pages. You know, five pages is about $2 for if you calculate 20 cents per page. Um, so basically, or sorry, yeah, no, it's like $1. My bad. So the point is that yeah, so this looks really good. And it's got art for maps and everything like that. And by the way, it's all laid out like an official D&D book. So if you wanted to put all these into one big binder, you will be very pleased, I believe, with what your end result is. Yeah. Anyway, that's Joseph Meehan. Next one's Portrait Sketches Art Pack. Joseph Buck Crutchfield. $5.99. That is not bad for stock photos. Now our preview is actually broken. I forgot about that. Yeah, this was one of the ones where the preview is broken. And so if Joseph Buck Crutchfield ends up seeing this, there's your warning about it. I think I couldn't find Joseph Buck Crutchfield on uh, Twitter. I tried to tweet out to everybody that they were going to be on the show. Anyway, here are the basic images from the most zoomed out you can possibly get. A little fuzzy in this, but I imagine they're much better quality in the actual book. Unfortunately, that's all it is just the 2 pages. It's $5.99. It says over 100 original photos taken. Type of filter has been added to make them look like this. So technically, these were not drawn. These are real people and they're real photos, and that's pretty cool too, because that means you're never gonna have anything with proportions all wrong. And honestly, they're pretty convincing. So there you go. They're pretty great. Anyway, yeah, $5.99 for 100 original photos you can use for character art and whatnot. So this one is Stay Home Play Games Bundle. It's a bundle, so it doesn't say the name right there. You got to come down here and actually click on one of these, which I already have. I think. Nope, I have not. I thought I did. Thought I had that open already. Alan Patrick. These are really cool. There's a lot of them. Average rating on these, by the way, like you just saw there, are pretty good. They're 4 and up. And so you got pretty good ratings here. Blood and Fog. These are all Adventures League, by the way. Adventures League, Adventures League, Adventures League. So you're getting an Adventures League quality adventures throughout all of these. And some of them are not. This one is not Adventures League. It's very very few of them are not. But yeah, basically. But these are just they're going to be the same quality. I mean, it's the same creator. But yeah, these all seem very fantastic. They've been out for a while. This bundle is just what's new, and it's the stay-at-home play games bundle. And this is where it's really great, is that you're getting all of this, which would normally cost $45.39 if you bundled it without any discount. It's marked down to $20. So if you're just gonna just cram D&D until you're finally able to leave your house, then this is a lot of adventures, all ready to go, and you grab all of them at once, and you can just run them all. It seems very fantastic. That little art, by the way, is a little demon chicken from from Avernus, and they're horrible, horrifying. But yes, it's hilarious in that it's got a little speech bubble in abyssal or what have you. This one is pre-made characters, angels and demons. Now, I look at pre-made characters, and I mean the fun for me is making them, but I decided to download it and take a look and see what it was, because that's what the show's about. It's Pay What You Want, 99 cents by T.R. Appleton. In case you were wondering, I do believe I'm not sure where this art actually came from. I assume. Oh, they actually do have their own artists: Daniel Commercy, Dean Spencer, Kira McNeil, Grim Press, and Purple Duck Games. That's very cool, because I did not recognize that art, and it looks very good. Um, so this is where I'm gonna have to switch over to the PDF to show it off, because it doesn't it doesn't seem to show up very well whenever I just switch over to that in this Twitch Studio beta program. So this one is very interesting because I really like this character sheet, and I assume this is original. I don't know for certain, but I assume that they created this themselves, because I've never seen it before in this layout. It's got armor, dexterity, shields, and miscellaneous to tell you what all adds up into your AC, which is really cool. You've got all these flair. Like, even if you don't like pre-filled character sheets, like I don't especially like, I just because I like to make them myself. I think that you might be able to. Do they have? Do they have just their character sheets for sale? I don't know. Maybe that's not their original character sheets. Maybe that's why. But if it's their original character sheets, I gotta tell you, that creator needs to sell that just on its own. Like, they look fantastic. I really like that character sheet. Anyway, yeah. So that's that one. 99 cents. So pay what you want. So you can download it. If you use them, you can come back and throw them $1. Serak's Adventure Manual, Volume 1, John Von Baron. Now this one right here, I think, yeah, this one has, I want to say this was one that is easy to spoil. Oh, no, what am I talking about? It's the Adventure Manual. This is not one of the adventures. No. This is a series of this school of mentalism. This is like almost like psionics, but it's about like illusions and charisma saving throws versus your and basically you can manipulate people's emotions, you can do illusions, you can I think read minds and things like that. It's not bad, and it seems fairly interesting. And it comes down here, fool me twice, speed of thought. They're pretty great. You keep going, the School of Medicine. This one's like a healer wizard, which I can't remember if there is one of those at all in like Unearthed Arcana or anything like that. It's not coming to mind at the moment, but I could very well be wrong. But this is very, if not, if there isn't one, then this is a great one, a great unique one. Cure wounds, Goldberry, lesser restoration. So you can do it, be a wizard and simultaneously be a healer with this one, which is kind of hard to do otherwise. And then down here, the School of Kinetomancy is all about gravity and things like that. And actually, it's all great. This whole thing so far is all great. And I do get to this one, and this one is a similar problem to what I saw in one earlier today. And I need to call it out for the creator to take a look and go look back at it, and I'll explain why. So at 14th level, it gives you the ability to as an action, target one creature or object that you can see within 90 feet and target a surface that you can see within 120 feet. That creature or object immediately begins falling toward the surface you selected as if it were the ground for them, as a normal rate of fall on each of their turns. Now, they're able to catch themselves. It goes out of the way to make sure that you understand that. It can fly, it can catch itself, what have you, to keep from falling there. Now, the thing, though, is that this doesn't specify that the 120 feet has to be 120 feet from the target, and so that means that it means from you. By default, it would mean from you. So 90 feet, you choose a target within 90 feet, and then if you choose another object that's 120 feet in the opposite direction, you've now reached 210 feet. And that means 21d6 damage when they hit the ground. All for free, no spell slot required. Um, does it say it has to be once per turn or once per day? Blah blah blah. So when they reach the surface, all normal rulings such as being able to stop off. Yeah. No, it doesn't. It does not say that that it's once per day, unless I'm overlooking it. Yeah. So you could do this all day long, and so there's two reasons that it's broken. One is this doesn't require a spell slot. It just happens, and also it's not considered magic damage, so you don't have any damage reduction if you've got monsters that have that. And it's and you can't counterspell it. So that's a problem. That kind of thing seems to come up a lot where people are thinking about distances for casting spells, and they're not thinking about distances for fall damage, but they're dealing damage and fall damage. And the other one was a gravity thing, a magnetism thing, where you were able to move objects around using magnetism, and if the creature that it was on failed a strength save, they would go with the object, and you could move them 90 feet per round. So you could move them, and it lasted a minute. So you could move them forever up in the air and then just drop them, and that was no good. It needed to be balanced. But yeah, John von Baron, 99 cents for Serak's Adventure Manual Volume 1. Other than that, those two problems with that one, the Kinetomancy one, that looked like a fantastic little supplement for alternate schools. It's if you're looking for those kinds of schools, that's a great one to go to. But anyway, yeah, it's 9 pages for $1, so that's also not a bad deal. Zuulathrax, the Guardian of Lightning. Now this one is a magic item, and it basically is just a magic item, but it's very it's got a lot of presentation. It's a magic item. It's rare. It's I think can communicate to you, and it's got abilities to throw lightning, which is pretty cool. and requires charges. It's pretty well balanced, and the art is pretty fantastic as well. I think that for 4 pages for a single magic item for $2, I mean, with that magic items, it's really cool. Are they going, if they supplied the concept art with it separately and gave you permission to use it in your own supplement, I could see $2 being as if it's like stock art. Then it's like a stock art with bonus magic item rules along with it, which would be, I think, better deal for $2. But otherwise it is pretty good. Whenever Manuel Rivera gets multiple of these and puts them all, they've got 4 of them here, puts them all in a bundle and then drops the price by total, or re-releases them all in a single supplement, then I think that it would definitely be worth it to pick them up, because their designs are very sound. Their art is very good. It's worth it to get. It's fairly expensive at the moment. Maybe a sale could bring it down or something like that. But anyway, Book of Races, Great Ogres. This one is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I think it doesn't show you anything about. Like, I read about it, and they're pretty cool, but there's nothing about the mechanics, so I don't know if I can trust it to be something I actually want to spend money on. Some more in the preview. I mean, the quick preview can let me see how many. No, this one also only goes to 3. You can't even read the quick preview. So if the creator, if Kim Frenzen ever sees this, then I would suggest, hey, throw more at least in here. But I would throw at least the first page or something in here so I can see some of your mechanics and learn to trust you a little bit more. Brian Brinley and Rick Hershey. Maybe you've got something down here that's free that you're already showing off your skill with. I'm not sure, because this is all I'm just looking at the newest one. But that's what a lot of people coming into D&D are doing now. So you gotta take a look. Gotta think about it like new people are looking at every single supplement. New people are gonna see them. But anyway, it's only $1 for 5 pages, so technically that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, Undermountain Bestiary, Fantasy Grounds. Now this one, Rob Toohey has come in with the original creators. I believe that's Jeff and Don were the original creators, and turned this into a Fantasy Grounds. Now this is a small bestiary that is of a decent size. Like, I'm not saying small, because it's only $1 for 13 pages. And the bestiary has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, yeah. So basically, they tell you, but basically, it's got a good number of creatures. It's got a good challenge rating spread, things like that. They've got some in here for you to take a look at. That's gross and awesome at the same time. Beholder, Eyeball, Swarm, Binu, Rocklord, or Bino. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that's basically sounds about right. That's one of the things D&D has, is you just got to pronounce it how you do it, how you think it's pronounced. Point is, average rating is only 1 rating, but 5 stars. That's probably because, I mean, you can already tell looking at it if you go through and look at what they have here, that they're pretty good at this. Myriad eyes. They've got some cool features in here that are very unique flavor and stuff like that. So yeah, Jeff Ibbich, Ibbich. I'm not sure how to pronounce last names. I suck at that. But there you go, Jeff and Don and Rob Toohey, and I believe Toolbox Publishing, Channy Tremblay. I'm not sure who it is, but one of them is Rob Toohey's team members, I believe. But yeah, or something to that effect. So yeah, there's the Undermountain Bestiary, and it's now on Fantasy Grounds. This was another one, same people. It's now $2. I guess I should point that out. It's $2 on Fantasy Grounds. It's $1 for the physical copy, or for the PDF. I mean, sorry. The Waterdeep Bestiary is $2. It's also equally impressive. Has the same number. Its average rating is only 3 stars. The challenge ratings only go up to 8, so it's a little bit. Maybe that's why the lower stars. Maybe people are concerned about that. But basically, this is a bunch of creatures that seem to be in. They're based in Waterdeep, And so if you're looking for more creatures and you specifically are using Fantasy Grounds, then you've got 2 of them now to add a bunch of more creatures too. I don't use Fantasy Grounds, so I'm not entirely certain any more detail than that I could give. But yes, they're both of them are $2 and their original are $1. The Psychomancer, Fantasy Grounds. This one's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's pretty cool, but it only has the cover. Oh, no, hold on. It's just not loading. My bad. This is not the one that was broken. This is a different one. So it's got history, theory, present, school of psychomancy. Sounds really cool. History, theory, all comes out, reads really cool, very awesome. But when we get to the actual school, it doesn't have anything to go off of. I have no idea if this is something I can trust. Obviously, I can just throw money to this creator and find out, but the creator charges so much for everything except for this one, the Jabberwock, which so this one's the cheapest one of them all. It's the 250. It's 15 pages, so 250 is not a bad pricing there. And the art is really cool. I believe this is the creator resources art, but the fire is not. So that's really cool. And the concept of it seems really cool. Psychomancy, it's kind of like Psychonauts, but I guess in that kind of a idea. But it seems like psionics almost. But DM Conclave created it. 250 for that one. 7 Deadly Plagues, a Malady Codex special. Now this is one that I feel may be promising simply because of what they describe. They don't give me any preview here. Jason Bacchus and Timus Paraskevas for $4.95, 36 pages. Artists Galganet and Sumar, Dean Spencer, and Pixel Day. So it's got some cool art. Now let me just go and zoom in on those because they are worth it. This is what you're looking at. This is why I say it looks promising. Look at this. It's so cool. It's done up like it's like it's an illuminated text, and it's just so well done like that. It's got plot hooks, followers, cure treasure. It's diseases and plagues. It's plagues that are that have adventures tied into them. So adventures are you know uh, that it's got their let me go back to that because that's so cool. It's almost like the freaking Horseman of the Apocalypse almost there. Plague of Swarms, lore, physical manifestation. Basically, what you're looking at here is 7 Deadly Plagues, a Malady Codex special, and it's like adventures built into plagues that are spreading, so you can like throw them into any world really at that point. And it's created by a where was it? It's created by a student, medical student. I don't remember where. Oh yeah, it's just right there, right at the very beginning. I was looking too far in, but yeah, it's by medical students, and that just adds an extra layer of realism, convincingness, where they're probably going to probably going and looking up a lot of good history there. Now this one is fairly interesting. It is a playable race that is, I think that's a creator resource art from 3rd edition, but they went ahead and made it a playable race into a playable race. Jack Deslip. And that's that you can pay 0 and come back, and if you ever actually use it, come back and put money toward it. 3 pages, 50 cents, not bad. Come in here and it actually, they make good use of that art because the way they created this race, it's like rotting gaze. You can deal necrotic damage things, weird insight, where you can creature must succeed on DC 10 charisma saving throw, or you learn one fact about it of the DM's choice. It's very simple. You can see it all in the preview. So if you like it, you can download it. I mean, it's pay what you want, so you might as well. But the point is that yeah, it's got a lot of really cool stuff here. That is just really fantastic. It does your insert ability score increases by insert number. Okay, well, there's actually a little bit in here that I didn't notice before. I did see this. I thought this was just, race names, race traits, and thought they didn't follow their they didn't fill in their template all the way. This stuff though, I didn't even somehow I glossed over that and didn't notice it. It's like they put in the important stuff down here, but then the important stuff up here, like your ability score increase, I think its description up here says something about intelligence. So I assume that it's supposed to be an intelligence by 2, maybe, since it only gets 1 ability score increase. And that kind of fits what they're doing. But yeah, okay, well I missed a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, if you, otherwise those features are really cool, and if you like it, you can toss 50 cents toward Jack Desolate. Um, this one is made by Eric Mayer, the Lancer Archetype. And this is a fairly, I believe, let's see, I think there's a new creator. Yep, January 1st, 2020 was their original stuff. So not that long ago. And then the Lancer is their next one. And it's a subclass of, I believe, a subclass of fighter. I have it on PDF already and took a look at it. But basically it's pay what you want, so you can find out, if for some reason you look at this and you don't and you want to and it turns you away in some way. Let me assure you that the concepts behind it are very cool. They kind of match 4th edition style fighters. I think it was 4th edition that had the stances. So they got shield rest and lancer's stance, which they can take, planting a shield stance, running fight stance, and lunging thrust stance. These are specifically, creature, a playable class or archetype that uses reach, weapons with reach. That's the goal here, including whips. They have a little thing to talk about them and how to deal with them. But basically, you pierce your enemies with long weapons, leaving them pinned in place. You can actually basically pin people down with your weapon and all sorts of things like that, which is pretty cool. Basically, it does seem like a pretty decent one. So if for whatever reason you look at the art and it turns you away because I think this art is really good. If for whatever reason though it does turn you away, just give it a second chance. Download it first. I'll urge you to download it and give it a read over, and then find out whether or not you want to come back and throw $1 here. It's 4 pages for pay what you want and $1. It's Eric Mayer. Next is Tables of Tomes, over 300 book titles to bring to life in a library. There's no way for me to see any of these or what they are or how they work or anything like that, but it's literally tables organized by category, so DM doesn't have to make up a book title offhand. From books on devils, manuals on learning alchemy, to Barovian travel guide. There are titles on here for nearly any need. Also include a small stat block for a book-based mimic to make the next library trip a bit more adventurous. So basically, this is a naming, aid for dungeon masters, a DM tool, basically. And it's 9 pages for $1.99 by Jesse McNamee. So names. And basically, or Jess, I can't tell if it's Jess or Jesse, but basically, yeah, 199 for that one, and it's pretty, it's intriguing, and 300 book titles is a lot, so that must be pretty extensive. Next one is The Shadow of the Circus by Lucas Menez. So this one is pay what you want and $2. It's a one-shot adventure meant to be played at 6th level party, as it says here. It's got really good art. I don't know. Let's see, where's the artist? Yeah, it doesn't list the artist. So either the artist is also Lucas, or maybe it's stock art and didn't want to say over there. But as it says here, if you want to play this, I strongly recommend that you stop reading this, or a lot of spoilers will be revealed. That is a good warning for someone like me, especially. They got cool character art, so I'm just going to show a little character art here because it's fantastic. I'm going to scroll through too quickly for you to see anything else, so quickly look at those character art, and then we'll move on because I'll just say that this is really well designed. I read over it; it looks very very fun. I mean, adventures that have small adventures that happen during a circus are always fun. I started my campaign off during a festival, and that worked out really great. And Critical Role campaign 2 started off in a tavern, but with a circus that just came to town. So this kind of feels a little cool in that kind of vibe where circus comes to town. Uh-oh, what happened? And so that's what that one is, and it's pretty cool. Obviously, $22 for or 22 pages for $2 is a good deal. If you want to throw in $0, get it, download it, and wait, and then put it in your stack, and then the moment you actually pull it out and use it as an adventure, you're in a tight spot, you didn't prep for the game, you pull this out, you quickly read over it because it's only 22 pages. You read over you read over what you need. Maybe you read over it ahead of time because you just didn't have time to prep that session. You're gonna pull it out as a one shot, or you're gonna pull it out as a during a main campaign, through a long campaign, whatever you want to do. And then once you're done playing it, come back, throw $2 at this person because if you have fun with it, they deserve it. All right, so that's another episode of Guild Guide done. That's all of them for yesterday, and thank you for joining me. Once again, the camera broke. That seems to happen every single time now, and I don't understand why. What it's actually causing that. I assume it's some kind of network problem on my end. Maybe my Wi-Fi needs to be completely rebooted. Did this morning, and stuff like that. So I will say, by the way, this has been a lot more. I've bitten off more than I can chew. And so I'm going to make another video to talk about it, but this may actually be the last episode of this show, and I may be switching over to the other show I was creating because that one allows me to work on my own stuff, my own supplements, allows me to get my stuff out there, allows me to get my work done while giving advice to new creators who are trying to learn how to make stuff on their own, even if it's just DMs that are trying to learn how to homebrew. It's still, even if you're not planning on selling anything, if you're just trying to homebrew, it's still good to learn from somebody else. There used to be the Happy Fun Hour, and that was a great way to learn, but that had to be taken down. So um, now I miss that show. I wish there was more of them like that. I personally have looked and haven't been able to find them. So if you actually know of one, let me know. But I want to do a show like that. I want to show off how I create stuff. And I've already done one episode, so if you're watching and you want to go check that out, you can. I created a subclass for the barbarian, for the rogue, actually. That's based on the Doom guy from the Doom Slayer is what he's called now, from the Doom series. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I will make a short little video talking about, if I do decide this to be the last episode, I'll make a short video and I'll post it out for everybody's that's been getting attention, on Twitter for this show, and it just takes all day long to do, and it's a lot of work. Yeah, but I'm going to do a short video that explains it all, and I'll see you next time on my other show because not probably not on this one, maybe, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.